I mean, really just trying to find answers to some of the problems. Let's start with we didn't guard. Like the obvious answers was we struggled scoring. I think we had 5 turnovers in that second period. But to me, it's like they went an onslaught scoring, and I felt like our spirit took a little bit of a dent there. To the guys' credit, they came back and fixed it with some momentum at the end of the second period. But there was that window where I would have blown through a lot of the timeouts. I mean, I went through timeouts quicker than I ever have, and got worried that I wasn't going to have enough, and especially with the challenge at the end. But during that drought, I look forward to seeing the defense. The offensive part of it struggled, I think, through turnovers and them coming after Joel Embiid, and I don't think we did that great of a job of helping Joe.
Talk about Joel. Joel
Wow.
kind of willed y'all to win.
He sure did. Like, you look at how many free throws did he shoot?
19.
And look what he shot, 18 for 19. And I'm yelling at the development coach behind him when he missed the single one because he didn't hold his follow through. Shame on me. But in the meantime, it's true. He all over the place, like just defensively, offensively, give me the ball stuff. I thought the thing that might go not as noticed as I see it was his screen setting. Like he really did a good job of getting low, getting his shoulders lower than the defenders, and forcing over, like getting our guys Alec Burke downhill to his right hand. I thought he did a great job of doing that. But Joel Embiid was our bell ringer tonight for obvious reasons. He was dominant.
Alec Burke only had one shot in the first half. Was it a conscious effort to get him more involved in the second half?
Yeah, and even at the end, like I tried to, pull him out late. He got a big bucket late. He ran from one side of the floor to the other, and scored. I think it was with a little under a minute left. But we tried to get him the ball in the second half more. We're all learning. It wasn't an easy game to sub. Like you ended up going with multiple point, and Ben's out, so you tried Jay Rich. At the start, Jay struggled a little bit. I came in with, Howell obviously started, but Jay Rich is the backup. Then we came in with Shake. We're searching a little bit at that position. And Ben's absence put us in that environment. And I think in general, the flow of the game was a little bit erratic at the start, and Alec certainly came in and did what we scouted him to do.
I know they play really small, but obviously it was a rough game for Al. Do you have any concern about him against these smaller matchups like this?
I mean, when it's small, because what I look at the end of the game is how much did Al and Joel play together. Like you get, Joel's in, Joel comes out, here comes Al. You get that, but the portion of the game where you can say it's Al Horford and Joel together, that's an interesting number to always study. And tonight, they went small. I mean, Wilson Chandler at a 5, and it just didn't play out that way. And I think like when you go to Milwaukee, things will change. But it was a small ball game, and it's true. We went with Joe more than Al for the reasons that I just said.
What worked in the third quarter that didn't during that run?
I mean, I thought we did a good job in the second half of not turning the ball over. I thought we played with a greater pace. You feel the pain. Like we didn't shoot threes, not the quantity or the percentage that we need to. I think you can point at Ben Simmons' absence as a big reason for that. He really does a great job of quarterback in the gym, collapsing the defense. I mean, I'll go back and look at it, but I feel like, we came out of the halftime. Two things. Reminded of how that drought that we just spoke about there, but we clawed back, and I thought the last few minutes of the second period gave us a little bit of life. And as I mentioned to the group, it really wasn't like an X and O thing to me. It was, let's rekindle our spirit. Let's get that going first. And I feel like the turnovers in our spirit, just playing with that type of intensity, changed the game.
He had made a big deal earlier about not having a lot of fun in the first half. Tonight you saw him a little more active, hands up in the air, like laughing and stuff. Do you sense any change?
I mean, I hope that I hope that he enjoys playing like he should. He's a great player. I think when you come out of the All-Star game and like you feel other All-Stars start to like go to you when it's crunch time at the end of the game, there is no greater sort of boost, as I see it, than maybe that. I mean, his defense is still the thing that is our backbone. You know, they had 1 point in overtime, and you know their percentages going down the stretch in the fourth period was low, and that's where I see his energy and his passion being contagious with the confidence that he gives the other four players.
Brett, what did you make of the failed challenge? And were you looking at that on the Jumbotron, or did you have somebody in your ear? Were you listening to Josh there?
Yeah, no, it's always a decision of do you spend your money? And I was particularly worried because I only had 2 timeouts. And so you're trying to do the best you can to get an angle. I don't know if you remember at Atlanta, like we challenged and they gave the ball to the free throw shooter, you know, to shoot the free throw, and whoops, now then it's too late. And so like you're on the clock. And you hope that you're not as much, and you got the technology, which we do behind the bench, to look at and study it. You hope at times you're going to get a little bit of help from the players. I've learned not to trust that too much. And, you know, that's the stuff that goes through your mind. It's a big play. You know, you'd like to have not 3 free throws. And so we decided to challenge. We lost that, and that's how we make our judgment. You wish you had a little bit more time to see it. To make a better decision.
You talked before the game about there being some competitions as far as spots in the playoff rotation. With a pretty wild game like this, is there anything you can take as far as guys that maybe stood out to you or helped their case?
I mean, we'd all have to walk out of here being pretty impressed with Alec Burke. You know, he provided a scoring punch. Like, he really was a dynamic scorer, and I think the more I'm seeing him, his ability to pass out of a pick and roll is elite. I mean, he's throwing behind the back passes to rollers. He's hitting people, you know, when he should. You know, we're always wondering what's going to go on as like the backup point guard when Ben's healthy. And I've tried Furk a little bit there. I've tried Jay Rich a little bit there. You know, Shea came out of left field in the second half because I wasn't entirely thrilled with, you know, how I was rotating the group and what I was seeing. And so, like, you're wondering, might Alec have something to do with being a primary ball carrier, because he's a really good pick and roll player and passer. He stood out tonight. You know, the other guys I thought were solid, but as far as standing out, he did to me.
Glenn only played 14 minutes. Was it something Glenn did? Was it like, or you just trying to switch things up?
No, not really. You know, it's like, you know, I thought he was solid. I wouldn't say he did anything wrong. It's just we got into that sort of flow. There were times I wanted more of a scoring punch, and so like you rode Furk out a little bit more, hoping that he could get going. You know, Alec, we rode a lot toward the end as a scorer. We flipped offense and defense and came in with Matisse, you know, in an offensive and defensive type rotation philosophy, but I wouldn't say he did anything wrong.